Okay. What's up, everyone? It's your girl Rossie, and I'm back with another amazing show, guys. Give me a second here. I'm trying to make sure that we go live on Instagram, guys, because I want to do that. Let me see really quick, guys. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see if we can go live. Hope you guys are all good. I hope you guys had a wonderful day. All that good stuff. I have a Sacramento stand-up comic, Brandon Holloway, with me, and you guys will be able to see him in a second here. Let's see. All right. All right. We're just gonna, we're just gonna, let's see. Okay. So we're here with Brandon Holloway. He's a Sacramento comic. And I've been talking to him backstage, and he's already like funny and making me laugh and all that good stuff. So I really appreciate that. You guys know I love comedy, so I appreciate him. And let me let you guys meet Brandon. You guys give Brandon a warm welcome. Here we go. What's up, Brandon?
Hey, people, how are you? What's going on? Holy
So,
shit.
we've been backstage. I've been telling him like, just bear with me here. We're gonna go live and just give me a minute because I'm learning how to do all this stuff. You guys know my situation. So he was gracious to come on the show. I've heard so much about him. People are inboxing me like, you got to ask him this and you got to ask him that. And Shelly Booker definitely is one that was like, make sure you ask him about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I'm gonna ask you now, what's the deal with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
So, when I come to the open mics or I come on our little gym sessions, like I'll do storytelling with, I call the man my Sifu. It's an honor. His name is Johnny Taylor Jr., Sacktown legend. I'll get more into him a little bit later, but I go to kind of his gym etiquettes, or I call it the danger room, because we're like the expert and he's a professor and stuff, and he's training us and teaching us how to be funny. And I'm always wearing Ninja Turtle shirts, and I love Ninja Turtles. I've been a Ninja Turtle fan, I don't know, since like the 80s. I guess if kids can concept those years, I had the VHS tapes and all that. And Shelly peeped that because she was just like, hey man, you wear a lot of Ninja Turtle stuff, like what's the deal with that? And then I started just nerding out on her and like letting her like, I love this guy and I love Leo and all that. And I didn't think that she was listening. And I didn't think it was just Brandon's just going on one of his rants. And she shows up to our showcase with this guy. And I was like, freaking Shelly. So when she showed up with Leo, and like Leo's like my spirit animal. So I've got 5 brothers. There's me. I got a twin brother. His name is Baron.
Do you really?
I do. Yeah, I tell everybody. I say in my stand-up, if you see a guy in South Sacramento, probably not me. First of all, he doesn't have, I got dreads and stuff, and he's got the fro or the fade or whatever. So and then most of the time he's not friendly. So they don't approach him. Like me, I'll say, hey, he'll just kind of shove you and be like, what are you doing? Even if you say Brandon, he won't respond. But I digress.
Are you guys like, are you identical twins or like fraternal? Yeah. Is it fraternal?
We're mirror image.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm left-handed. He's right-handed. We're identical though. If you see us.
Are you Brandon though? Is Brandon sitting in your place?
Yeah, I'm Brandon.
You filling in for your brother?
I get. Yeah, no. No. I have some jokes. And, I actually had a joke banned for one of my twin jokes, but I can't.
You can't tell it. Okay.
So,
is he also in comedy? Or are you two
no,
like?
He's the exact opposite. Of myself. I don't mind the spotlight and stuff. My bro is not. He's more like the cameraman, or like he'll behind the scenes type guy. But still dope nonetheless.
Okay.
We're actually local. We used to be at Kennedy. We used to be the K House.
Really?
Stuff. Yeah, long time. We're 05. So my 2005 peoples. Appreciate y'all in the chat if you're there or if you're on the video. So, we're not 40 yet. We're still studying. We're still showing these kids a little bit.
So did you grow up here in Sacramento?
I did.
Did you? Okay, so you're raised and born, all that in Sacramento.
Not born.
Okay.
And slightly raised.
Okay.
my origin point is down south, so I'm from like Mississippi, and
Oh, really? Where at in Mississippi?
Meridian. So my Meridian
Really?
family, hey sis, if you're watching, grandma, everybody. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
Jackson.
Jackson, oh man, yeah, everybody's born.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
technically I was born in Jackson. Everybody's born in Jackson. Then you
I
go to
was
your little
okay.
town.
So I was born in Chat, Tennessee, and my father's family is from Jackson, and we lived in Jackson when I was like in, gosh, we moved there when I was like in seventh grade,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, we lived there for about we lasted for about 6 months, and it was it was it was different. It was awesome for me. I enjoyed it. It was the first time I've gone to like an all black school.
Right.
We were raised on the West Coast, so it was always a mixture. But going to an all black school was something that was just awesome for me. I thought it was cool to like could you talk with people that know you, like
Right,
they
right.
know your hair issues, they know your what I mean, like they know
You have
everything, like
to
we
stand
know
up.
each other, and that
No
was
code switching, which is
it
dope.
was it was awesome. And just to see like how many beautiful black people there were, and just the levels of black people, doctors and lawyers, and just seeing a totally different side of the black culture was
Right.
it was exciting for me. I loved it. And my grandfather like had a church, and he was a Methodist preacher, pastor, whatever you want to call him. And it was a great experience. I really enjoyed, the whole school life and getting to meet people. I remember them making fun of my sister and I because they were always like, say this word, or do we
Yeah,
sound funny? Do we sound funny?
yeah, I
we
did. Yeah.
sound funny.
Police? No, baby.
Yeah, they're like,
Police players.
say beautiful for us. And I'm like, beautiful. They're like, but say it. So I'm like, beautiful. But as you're tripping on my language, I'm loving y'all language. So my
Right.
cousins would be like, we say hey here, hey.
And see, I've been here so long. Like, there's still a twang, but
Okay.
but it's because my parents raised me, so their thing was full authentic. And then now we're like these like outcasts. We don't know where we can go. So when we don't go down south, it sounds familiar, but it's not the same. And we're
Right.
out here and we're talking. They're like, "Hey, man, are you from here? Like, what's
Right.
going on?"
Right.
So it's just kind of the best of both worlds. But that's dope. Did you see the
Yeah.
when you were at Jackson? Was it the
Hmm.
school like the first time I ever seen a middle school like stadium? So
Okay.
it was like the blue and silver.
We had I was telling someone at I do like I help out with animation during the day job. So I was telling them about the school I went to was called Hardy Junior High School. What was awesome about that school was like the teachers were really strict. The principal, like, you had to wear belts, girls had to wear dresses below their knees. And it wasn't a private school, it was a public school, but they were really making sure that we as young black kids knew how to behave and wear your clothes right. They really, because when you go to other schools, I played sports. Played volleyball, so you wanted to make sure that you represented yourself and your family well. And so I appreciated that. But um, the thing that got me was their mascot. And so coming from the West Coast, when you see Colonel Sanders, it's Colonel Sanders. Where I'm going with this. Our
Yeah,
mascot was Ole Miss. And
yeah,
so Ole Miss was, the big white hat, the whole Colonel. He looked like Colonel
yeah. The
Sanders. And I
whole
remember,
Confederacy.
yeah, yeah. And I remember, coming from the West Coast, like we in our, history books, like that was like no. And going there, and it's an all black school, and I'm like, went home like, Mom, their mascot is like the overseer. Like it's Colonel Sanders. It's how is that okay? And they love they're proud of our mascot. But I remember just it was a big mural of him in a gym. So
Was
it
it
was
the
it was
one that
just
looked like the whack Captain Crunch kind of? He was
yeah,
kind
it
of
was yeah,
like
it
racist
was
Captain Crunch.
it was something else. So it was a definitely a culture shock, but just some of the things. But I have to say the teachers there, what I learned was different than I learned on the West Coast. I mean, we really went into history and the House of Representatives and Mississippi legislation. I mean, it was just all that, and they loved Jackson State. We lived like probably 5 minutes away from Jackson State University.
Wow.
So yeah, it was really big. And I remember us
So
going
you
there
were
in
like
junior
deep
high.
in the town. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we were, yeah, Jackson, like, yeah, yeah. But it was awesome.
My folks are a couple freeway exits away, and
Okay.
Meridian was it's definitely a small town that leads you to that.
Okay.
I go back and I go visit and everything like that, and it's been a minute. The only time I visit, RIP to my grandma, is the last time I visited, but I keep in touch with my family and stuff. But no, I left. I'm a Cali boy at heart. I came here around
Okay.
five,
Yep.
6 years old, and
Okay.
I remember when I first showed up, they didn't understand my dialect, so they put me on like RSVP and like the special classes and stuff, and like
Right.
they just wrote
Really?
me off. Yeah, they just wrote me off as soon as we showed up. They were like, I don't know what to deal with this. I don't know how to deal with this. But I
Right.
had, you know, and I say this in my comedy. Sometimes racism and everything like that. Sometimes people transcend that. I met this man named Mr. Harlow. Man, he rest in peace. He was old as dirt. He was a biblical character by the time so he's pretty damn old. But he was like, he's not dumb. He's just, he thinks differently. And
Right.
he taught me a lot of skills that I was a 5-year-old boy. I use to this day. And
Right.
California education, I can't speak enough. I went to Martin Luther King. We're
Okay.
Martin Luther King's son, right there on Blue Water. And even though everybody hated her, there was a lady named Miss Sweet. And I remember she used to tell me, like, you're funny. You should try to be a comedian one day. I'm like, whatever, lady. I don't even know how to spell that. I don't know what you're talking about. And I moved on to middle school, and I met a lady named Miss Montgomery. Her name is Miss Farina now, but to due respect. And she was the one that said, you can write, use your mind, kind of showed me the arts. She showed me
Right.
about Shakespeare and all that type of stuff. And I got
Right.
deep into that. And, went to high school. Like I said, I was a JFK Cougar and played sports
Okay.
here. Wasn't that good. I was okay. Probably mid-level,
Okay.
but
Okay. Okay.
I
Okay.
played basketball, football, and stuff. But I was always
Right.
funny. And I got the nickname Spider-Man because all I did was talk. If I would just sit there and talk my opponent to death, and like he would just by the end of the game, he wanted to choke me or wanted to just because I would just talk
Wow.
so much. And that's what led me into college where I started doing theater and stuff. And
Really?
yeah,
Was it acting? Did you want to do acting for
I
comedy, or
did.
did you?
Comedy
Okay.
was right in my. I was always funny, but I didn't think I could be
Okay.
the funny guy. I really wanted to be like dramatic and
Okay.
something like that. So I learned about like August Wilson and
Okay.
I did fences. I was Troy. I was always like the dad or
Oh,
something.
nice.
We did like the soldier story. Black
Oh,
belt, and I
okay.
had some stuff that I had to go through. Like shout out if anybody's watching from Fresno State theater community. Love you guys. It's very talented people. There's a guy named Nicholas Haas. We did a play called Arturo We. He was an improv guy, but they were
Wow.
great. They were magnificent. I was able to do a short film with Gina Emerson out there about racism and stuff like that. It was a very
Okay.
wonderful experience because you're like 4 hours away from LA, so everybody's got dreams, and they want to go
Right.
places and stuff. So
Absolutely.
the professors I just remember, like Professor Ellis, Professor Brad Mayers, he was great. Kathleen, she was awesome. Like they taught me a lot. But I had a professor take me to a stand-up. I did it for extra credit in Fresno.
Okay.
I was killing then. All I did was just get drunk and get on stage and just start talking. And I can't remember her name, but I remember I used to call her Miss Frizzle. That was her nickname. She had like the red hair and she was like, with
Okay.
the glasses. And she's like, you think on your feet and you say all these quirky things. You would be great. And so she was a stand-up comedian out there, had me go and do it. I didn't pursue it. I kind of just walked away. I was like, as soon as I got the extra credit, I was like, all right, lady, well, I got some free beers. That's cool, So I'm
Right. Right.
yeah. So, but family life happens and stuff like that happens. And so actually my partner, my wife, she was the one that said, hey, don't waste what you got.
Right.
Go out there, you're funny. Go do something with it. And I think my 35th birthday, I went to the touch of class and take a hat off
Okay.
for the touch of class, which is a waste. We need more venues for Black comics. We need more places
Okay.
like that. We need more things that's open. So
Right.
blow that we took that for the touch of class, but I got booed there. That was my first time
Did
going there.
you?
Yeah. I
How
bombed. It
did
was
you
good.
deal with that? How do you deal with, like? I
Well,
mean,
actually, not
obviously,
booed. It was more disinterest, which is like,
Okay.
yeah. So they were just not feeling it. But I thought I could do the same thing I did to drink and start talking and stuff. Like I didn't
Right.
understand the art of comedy yet. And you just deal with it. You're not everybody's cup of tea. you're not everybody's ideal look, like they don't.
Right.
Sometimes you might show up and they're just like, you could be the funniest dude ever, but if your energy just doesn't vibe with the crowd's energy, or it's like National Geographic, you go up there and you look scared, you look like,
Okay.
like
Okay. I get that.
it could be, it could be many things. So I never take it personal.
Okay.
I get a little, sometimes I'm acting like Drake in that one festival where you just sitting there like, oh, y'all don't feel me? Okay, you still performing, like, all right, well, fine. And then, and you do your best not to go like Snoop Dogg at like the Source
Oh,
Awards. Y'all don't mess with me, well, fine.
yeah. Right. Right.
So
Y'all ain't messing with Snoop Dogg no more.
yeah,
Y'all don't love Snoop Dogg and Death Row.
yeah, you can't do that to the crowd, man. You can't do that. So you just got to kind of roll with it. Yeah, it's like you can't bully people into laughing and being like,
Right.
just go back and retool. And I've definitely learned that. I did pretty bad. I remember there's a comedian, a local comedian. He's a legend. His name is Joey C. He was there. Okay. I didn't know them at the time, but I remember Joey listening. He was like, "Keep at it, young man." Like all quiet with your head down, and you get in the car and you cry, and then you get over it. You get up, and then you go. You just keep moving.
Y'all, he was crying in the car. He was crying in the car.
Yeah. He's like
just crying in the car. So, like, for you, what type of comedy do you do?
It's definitely raw. It's a lot of expletives, but I'm more. I talk about my life experiences, what I see, how I view them, what I'm doing. It's a lot of family, like me growing up, me as a father. I got a father. I always say I'm a girl dad. I'm a girl dad. I got a wife and 2 daughters, and that life. I definitely talk about a lot of like learning disabilities and stuff because I grew up with it, and we all have it in my family. So ADD and ADHD. I try to make light of, but I also try to bring awareness to of what what we're going through, because people would look at you and think everything is perfectly normal, and you're like, no, I have problems. Stuff like it's not, it's like, and then they'll see you do something amazing, and then you turn around and like you can't remember the digits or the code to like your front door or something. It's like, wait a minute,
right?
We just watched you like flip over a bus and dissect this bomb or something, but now you can't open the door. Like it's just kind of the struggles. People don't understand that, so I bring it in a funny tone. To that, because I watched my kids kind of go through it and go through the struggle. They're doing amazing now, and a lot of I give a lot of commitment to their mother and everything, because she was, like I say in my comedy, when we were kids, nobody and I'm going to use my F here, but nobody gave a fuck about disabilities at all.
Oh my gosh! Oh my! Listen, I can tell you that is so true. I had a best friend, and her little brother played with string, and he would just play with string, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's Darnell." Darnell. But he was 5 years old, and so all the kids would be playing together, but he'd be walking around with this string and playing with this string and whatnot. Then you find out years later he had issues, and the thing about it is the adults knew it, but you know how we grow up. It's kind of that's how he is, and we don't think at least growing up for some of us, that's normal. You don't realize like, oh my gosh, like he should have been seeing someone like, a psychologist, but those words don't come up, we need to take him to go see someone or put him on some type of meds. Like,
with the string. I mean, was he doing weird things with the string?
Listen, the thing about it was this. Okay. The thing about it is this. All right. Why no other kids? Like, you know what I mean? Like, seriously, like antisocial, just, yeah, like something's wrong, something's absolutely wrong. But the way we grew up, and a lot of us, you laugh at it, or he's not hurting anyone, just let but if you like having a conversation, it wasn't, it wasn't a conversation.
Normal,
and they would be like, there you go. It wasn't normal. You know what I mean?
Let us know how you turned out.
Oh my God.
I'm curious now, because it's like he must have been like, like, but no, and stuff like that. People have triggers, traumas, all sorts of things that they're dealing with, and I try to bring a light to it, and a spirited. Sometimes I'm mean, I'm very raw, but I try to be righteous. That first thought that you get is God given. That's who you are.
Right.
And you have to filter it out and make sure it's clean. And you know, I'm pretty good at that, but I've also got a keen observation on where it's at. So it's like you see me, you go like, oh man, he's got a big head. And it's like, okay, you know, but then you want to tell me I got a big head. You're just like, oh man, you know, your head, like, you know,
Right.
you know, I got a big head. Let's deal with it. Let's just straight shoot
Right.
and get through it. And
Right.
that's kind of where my comedy is at. You know, I tell stories about that, and I'm a straight shooter with it. And I try to be as righteous as possible with who I am. You know, I try not to fake the funk, but as my mentor told me, don't let the truth get in the way of a good joke. Because
I love that.
I've never met Hulk Hogan before. I'd like to. Hulkster, if you're
Yeah.
watching, you know, I know you don't like niggas, but you know, dude, I got the headband. I'm with it, man. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. I remember seeing him on TV, and you know, the hair, the wig, and I remember looking at him and saying, I wonder what type yaki that is, because it was clumped together like in his eye, you know. So I was like, I wonder what number yaki he's wearing. Yeah, what number yaki is he wearing? I just thought that. But you know what I like about comics that, you know, bring in family and make fun of those things is you have to laugh. You know what I mean? Like some things, like it's inappropriate, but you have to laugh at those things. And I want to ask you, how have you dealt with the past few years? Maybe it's not happening as much, but you know, when comics got to a point to where they had to be careful of what they said. And did you go through that? Like, how was that for you when we were, you know, at that stage of life here in
I mean, we're
America and
still
maybe
there.
around the world?
We're still there. There's still things that, you know, I can't say, and you know, privy to, like, you know, your day job or the views that you
Right.
want. Like there's stuff that I'll leave on the table just because it's like, hey man, I don't want to go there.
Right.
Uh, there's stuff that I think is okay, and clearly,
Right.
you know, I had jokes banned. You know, I can't say certain things at certain venues. You know,
Okay. Okay.
I
Okay.
learned that, and sometimes I feel like a dinosaur. I feel archaic because, you know, like a lot of these guys are younger. You know, so they're out there, they're
Yeah.
kind of doing their thing, and then the
Right.
vets, guys my age, are already seasoned. So, you know, they
Right.
kind of don't. They kind of look at a guy like me, like, okay, whatever. You know, I'm in this weird kind of uh, I want to call it equilibrium, but what do you call it? Purgatory, where I'm
Right.
like, I'm kind of in this step, but you know, I'm just here for the funny, and I try to make light of it and try to get there. Like if it's down like to a racist topic or something, I'm not
Yeah.
afraid to go there, but the venues
Okay.
are afraid. You know, the venues don't want to
Okay.
go there, and you also don't want to open Pandora's box. You never know
Right.
what you might open up or strike, but I'm always welcome to, like, you know, like in my life, random people will come and talk to me, and I might talk to a guy. Like I remember I was out with my wife, we were at dinner, and this cowboy guy came up to me, and we talked for like 2 hours. And she was like, "Oh wow, you know, he's." I was like, "No, I just met this guy. I don't know." And told me his daughter died and all this stuff, and we hugged at the end, and like, you know, and talked.
Wow.
Like, yeah, and then it just happens like that. So you never know, in the uncomfortableness, you
Right.
might find something cool, you know, within it, or you know, you might, like, I've had people go like, "Wow, you're not like all the other ones I met." I'm like,
Oh
cool. Doing public
gosh.
relations for you.
Gosh. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh, he
horrible.
speaks good. He speaks very good. I'm like, whatever.
Wow. Isn't that is that just gets me, you know, you have to laugh at that, but you know, you're so articulate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You speak well, yeah, it's like I don't think you understand. I don't think you guys know that that's kind of insulting, you know. I mean,
Yeah. It's like,
how did you think
wow.
it's going to come off?
What else am I supposed to be? You know what? I mean,
Right.
you know,
Right.
I got the degree in the background. I earned it. You know, so it's like, you
Right.
know, and that doesn't make you smart. It doesn't at
Right.
all. You know,
Exactly.
you can't
Exactly.
judge a book by its cover. You can't. That's just a piece of paper that people earn. You know, and
Right.
I touch on that too because, you know, at the end of the day, like I said, I've had people of my color do tremendous things for me, and they've also done horrible things to me.
Right. Absolutely.
And I've had
Yeah.
people pale as goddamn walls, you know, this light,
Yeah.
and they really were angels. And then I've had a couple where it's like, well, you really do fit the mold of white devil, you know, or you know, so, I see where it's at, or Asian or whatever, you know, because
Right.
everybody has a yin and a yang, and
Absolutely. Of course.
I try to do it because when I grew up, I grew up in South Sacramento. There was nowhere I couldn't go. You know, I knew the
Right.
rock, I knew the hood niggas. I knew
Right.
like me in the middle. I watched anime, but then I can turn around and do
Yep.
that. You know, there was nothing I couldn't do or nowhere I could go. So
Right.
I try to broach that with comedy and everywhere else. Like, let's have a conversation. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's see what it's about. We might find some common ground somewhere. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah, right. You'd be surprised. You grew up in South Sac. I lived in South Sac for like 10 years. I lived in the Greenhaven Pocket Gloria
Oh
area.
man,
Yeah. Yeah, Southland Park. I loved it over there. That was like
yeah.
we're from Portland, Oregon, so we moved here like 10 years ago, and we landed in that area. I love Greenhaven Pocket area. It's so diverse over there. It was great. I mean, I hated to move when we left and came out towards Roseville and all that, but
Oh yeah.
Greenhaven Pocket was pretty lit over there. We definitely, have a name for ourselves over in that area.
Yeah, my friend group is like a bag of Skittles, man. Like you just
Yeah,
pop it in,
right?
like they all
Yeah,
come out.
exactly.
Like that. We always say we were like Hey Arnold or something like that. That
Oh my
unrealistic
gosh, that's so
TV
true.
group with friends that like transcend color and everything.
Yep, yep.
I'm blessed for my friends. Hopefully they're watching right now. Damiano, William, appreciate you too.
If y'all are watching, make sure y'all give your girl a like, subscribe to the channel if you like the content. By the way, just to let you guys know, I am here with Sacramento stand-up comic Brandon Holloway. He's doing big things here in Sacramento. I'm so happy that he came to Rossie's Clubhouse. I'm Rossie McCree. I'm the host of Rossie's Clubhouse. And, Rossie's Clubhouse, we focus on interviews in all areas of entertainment. So I bring you the best out of Sacramento. And then at least once a month, I'll bring you someone from outside of Sacramento or outside of the state of California. So a shout out to BK the Don from Atlanta. He was my first artist that came here from out of state, and you were great. And I can't wait to catch up with you two again, BK the Don. So I wanted to mention that. So what's your process like writing jokes? How was that for you?
I have like a pretty much a sheet. I like writing with my,
Okay.
I like old school writing.
Okay.
And sometimes I'll write a story. Johnny
Okay.
Taylor is the one who kind of gave me the focus.
Okay.
Even though he told me to write, that man said he's like Jay-Z. He doesn't write his stuff down. He keeps it in his mind.
Okay.
I try to do that, but that's tremendously hard. So
Right.
I write in the writing. As I write my jokes, it gives me kind of a guideline. And then as I talk, I say it. I say it once a day. I had a comic tell me, hey, if you just kind of run your set every day, it starts to feel natural, starts to feel smooth. And eventually you're just talking. And I just run those sets. I run those jokes in my head. I get it vetted through Jesse Rivera and Johnny. Those are like if they give a joke some credence, they'll help me get legs on it. And then I'll run through it. But sometimes you just take them to the open mic and you have a great idea. You think you have a great idea, and then you get on the mic and nobody's feeling it or whatever. So you got to hammer it, channel it again. And then you can't give up on something just because people don't get it the first time. You have to keep kind of going at it and keep refining it and keep training it as you go. Right. So I'm always rolling in my head. Definitely car rides and sitting on the toilet. Those are my best, thinking about. So, yeah.
I always ask because I see, I hear some comics. I think it was a Seinfeld episode, and he was talking about how he was having a dream, and he woke up in the middle of the night because he had this great skit. And then when he went back to sleep, he wrote it down, but he wrote it down in his sleep. So when he woke back up, he couldn't read what he wrote down. And he was talking about how great that joke was. Are you one of those comics that can, you'll be sleeping and wake up and oh my gosh, that's a great joke. I mean, have you done that?
Inspiration. I'm like, oh my God, that'd be great. Oh my God. And so I'll write notes and I'll have little sticky notes. My lady hates it. She's like, what the fuck are these sticky notes? So it's my kids will find them everywhere, but I'll have a sticky note written down or somewhere. I'll put it in my pad. I got this cool little pad over here. I guess I'll show off my secrets for all you haters. Found it forever. This is my joke book for now. You see this, you give it back. If you don't, I'm fighting. Black
right.
But I'll write it down. If I think about something, I was like, man, that was funny. Or that was a situation, and I'll put highlights or I'll take make bullet points, and then like you said, you come back a day or two later, you're like, what the hell is this? I don't even know what I was even thinking about. Like Ninja Turtles. Oh, okay, stuff like that. I'll say I got one joke I'm coming up with. I'll call it Dax, but I want to change
Okay.
it because I'm a Cowboys fan and we're going through a lot right now. So I don't want everybody to get
Yes.
the wrong idea. But stuff like that, you might, sometimes I'll write that, like I'll see something and be like, all right, big booty or something like that. And then he's like, you look at it like, oh, what? Well, I don't know what to do with this. So what was I
Right.
thinking? But it's just part of the fun. It's part of
Okay.
just kind of because when theater, everything was so rigid, and so like you have to hit this beat.
Yeah.
Your thoughts aren't your own. You can't change the dialogue. You have to create the dialogue and make it your own. So
Right.
I appreciated that training, but now I create the scripts and I can ad lib on the fly. And
Right.
I'm not bound to anything, and that's what I love about the jokes. Like it's there on paper, but it's just a guide.
Right.
Once I get up there, I don't know what I'm going to say or how it's going to
Right.
go.
Okay.
So
What about writer's block? Have you gone through that where you're like, I can't even think of a joke. I can't. Do you go through that? Because I know some comics go through writer's blocks where, especially if they're writing their own jokes, they can't,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
It's harder because I chose to do stories.
Okay.
When I went to touch a class and everything, I was trying to be zinger guy and crowd
Okay.
work. And I'm okay with that. But then, when I started rolling with Johnny and Jesse and started like going through their class and really learning,
Okay.
they were like, story's okay. You can tell a story. So I try to go with that. And sometimes you do get major writer block because you got to fill in a story for 5 minutes. You got to make the story interesting for 5 minutes at least.
Okay.
And you don't want to drift off and go into a rant. It has to be a clear, concise story, and that can be
Okay.
difficult sometimes, especially for a guy with ADD, ADHD. You're like, oh, no, I don't know where I'm. All of a sudden, it's a cosmic battle and things are happening. So it's like to get that concise thing there. That's the challenge. But I'm always coming up with goofy stuff and stupid things. I mean, I used to like me and my brothers used to just be in the room and we would just play. So it's like coming up with weird, imaginative stuff.
Okay.
To my lady's chagrin, I know she's watching, so she's like, "There you go, imagine things." But I have this creative mind, and I see things in pictures, so it helps. But sometimes articulating that is difficult because you have to articulate it to a crowd and hope that they feel it.
Right. Right. Um, who were your comedic influences when you grew up?
Oh, man, Dave Chappelle was definitely like
Yes.
the
Oh my
number one.
gosh.
That probably bleeds throughout my comedy. Like he was the one that
Okay.
showed like I don't have to be. I grew up with like Comic View and stuff like that, and like
Yeah. Yeah.
Film,
Yep.
things like that.
Yep.
I'm like, look, man, I came from a 2-parent household. My dad was the funny guy, so it's like it's always so I'm kind of living out one of his things. My dad should have been a stand-up comedian. He was hilarious, but
Right.
some of these jokes I'm pretty much just living through him. But so he's one of my comedic influences. Is definitely my dad. My mom and dad were
Okay.
definitely like I would say my mom was more like storytelling, or my dad was more storytelling. My mom's more like crowd work. Zane was
Okay.
like she
Okay.
quick on her feet, so they definitely
Okay.
led that. But as far as like my all-time greats, like I said, Chappelle, Patrice O'Neill. I love
Okay.
Patrice O'Neill. I love how raw and honest he kept it. And Corey
Yeah.
Holcomb is one of my
Okay.
favorites. Roy Wood Jr. is definitely
Okay.
one of mine. So I try to be a mosh posh of what they represent and how they are.
Right.
But I want to be me.
Right.
So,
I think Dave Chappelle was like a staple in our household. The first movie I saw of his was Half Baked. Was it Half? Yeah, it
oh
was Half Baked.
yeah.
And I didn't really know much about him, but I remember, my kids were like, "Oh, you got to see this guy. He's really funny." And so Half Baked was great. I mean, we would say those lines over and over and over and over again. I mean, he was just great in that movie. And, Samson never left,
That's it. Well, one of
Samson
my
never left.
friends, his name is Enrique. Anytime that we like in college, we were looking for weed or anything, like we always had the code word. We're like, we want to talk to Samson. So
Right. Yes. So definitely Dave Chappelle. And then, of course, the Chappelle show comes out, and our 12-year-old was a huge Chappelle fan, and we let him watch the Chappelle show. The only thing that happened was he became Dave Chappelle. I mean, this kid, I'm telling you, this kid learned every movement that he would make, the looks that he would give. He would recite the skits over and over and over again. To this day, my son still, I don't know if he is Dave Chappelle, but it's like, dude, you've been doing it so long. You have movements like Dave Chappelle, like everything, the looks that he gives. But Chappelle was great. And of course, I love Cat Williams. I thought he was just,
Oh yeah.
I mean, just people are funny, but when he came out and did his show, I think was in '09 in the green suit and the perm and
Oh
all that.
man. Yeah.
I I've never
Pit
laughed like
Viper.
that.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, it's funny how they just come like a comet and they just explode on the scene. And you just like,
yes.
even we recite stuff to the like pimp down, pimp in the strap.
Oh my
Everybody's still
gosh,
reciting
right?
all that to this day. So
We
it's
still do it. I mean, there's so many things that he said in that comedy special that we would just repeat, or I'll be at work and I'll think about that skit and I'll laugh in my head because it was just so funny. And I love people that are just funny, just naturally funny. So and of course your Richard Pryors, and then all your
yes,
your legends, and Eddie Murphy, of course.
Eddie Murphy.
um
Yeah,
yeah, oh, Eddie Murphy was great. But what's funny is when his shows came out, Raw, and then the other one, I can't think of the name, but we couldn't
Delirious.
watch it at the time. We were
Raw
too
and
young,
Delirious.
so I didn't see Raw. For the first time I saw Raw was like probably 5 years ago. And my
What?
husband was
Oh
like,
wow.
"You've never seen Raw?" I'm like, "No, but I've heard some of the jokes and I really would like to see it." So we watched it, and he couldn't believe that I'd never seen Raw. I'd never seen a
Oh,
lot
that
of
must have been
Richard
nice.
Pryor stand up, but I remember hearing the album being played during like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
parties that my mom and my stepdad were having. So to see them like 5 years ago or 6 years ago for the first time, I was in love with it. I mean, I was just, and here's the funny thing, Brandon. I'm telling these jokes to people as if I was the first one I'd ever
Yeah, like
seen.
the first time you saw. Yeah, I know. It's funny that you say that because I'm always digging through the crates. I love kind of going back and seeing where we came from because sometimes an
Yeah,
idea just came from somebody that originated it first.
right, right.
I'm like that too. I'll sing like an old school song like it just came out
Yeah,
or like
right.
on the radio or
Exactly.
something. Yeah, and they're like, man, okay, we get it, dog. Like, all right, I get it. But I was like, I just found this yesterday, and like,
Yeah.
what's his name? Willie Hutch. Why did our love turn cold? I'm
Okay.
thinking that 3 6 Mafia. I was like, this beat is cold. They must have just came up with it out the factory. And I
Right.
hear Willie Hutch going, and I'm like, what? What's that?
Yep.
And I was like, he took 3 6 Mafia's song. I was so mad. And then I was like,
Oh
wait
my
a minute,
gosh.
look, he made the song.
So true. I do that. I'll be like with my mom and I'll be playing music, and there's a beat that I didn't know it was from, like, Betty, I forget her name. I didn't know that was from her. And my mom's like, "Oh no, this is old. Y'all got old.
Yeah, this is
This
old.
is our stuff." And then she'll play the original. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's the song," and it's new to me. It's all freaking new to me.
You
So,
end up loving the original more than you love the
oh,
contemporary thing. Like,
absolutely. So
yeah,
much. My playlist is like Johnny Taylor. You know what I mean? Like, I did seriously, like all
blues
of
play.
these
Yeah.
like seriously, like that's new to me, and I play it all the time, and my mom's like, this is not new, but to me, I thought the beat was something that we came up with, and it's your guys' beat from your day. So I do that, but
So I
love
do have
Johnny
to ask.
Taylor.
So do you partake in Blue Eyed Soul? Do you listen to any
Blue Eyed Soul, like Bobby Blue Bland, and
yeah, like white folks, like
blue. Oh my gosh, you got me on that one. And one thing about me,
Blue name
guys,
like
jokes
Bob Sager
over
or
my
any
head.
okay,
Um, I like Clearwater Credence. Would you call, I like them, it's funny, I can't think of a lot of them, but maybe I can't think of a lot of them, but maybe if you maybe if you play this song for me, and I'd be like, oh, okay. But I was raised on a lot of R&B and
me too.
old R&B, and
Me too.
like I said, I just discovered Johnny Taylor. That's
I
new to me,
know
but
that's
that's
like
old. But
Otis Redding, but then I can tell
Otis
you about like
Redding.
David Bowie or like I can tell you about uh
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know the young cannibals and stuff. Like I always scare
Yes,
white people.
absolutely. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Crowded House will play and I'll know the words and
Crowded
then they'll
House.
look at me
Yes.
and they'll get like terrified and I'm like,
Dude, that was good stuff. Listen, when MTV came out, we're the first kids on the block that had MTV. So,
oh
at
yeah,
that time, it was Sting, and it was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was U2, it was Jefferson Starship, or
We
Star
don't have
Airplane or
live
whatever.
music
But
in the garage
you
anymore.
know,
They don't even play music like that anymore. Now they
no,
always rap.
that was really good. Like seriously, that's when
That's good
MTV
music.
played
It's good music.
really good music.
I was at my buddy's birthday the other day at Fanny Ann's, and they were playing REM,
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Me in the Corner, and I'm
Oh,
like, look,
that's my song. I love REM. My sister hates that song. My husband hates that song. I'm like, that is the song. I was a teenager in Seattle at the time that was all coming out. So that was like huge for us at that time.
yeah, it's funny how many how many black folks we won't admit that we'll listen to some of y'all stuff. Some of it's bangs too, and then like everybody
Right.
gets scared. Like they'll be playing it out loud. Like I used to remember loving it going in college or something. Dudes playing like Breaking Benjamin or something, or like Chris Daughtry. And then you're like, "What's that, buddy?" And they just close it real quick, and they're like, "Oh man, I know I was listening to something." It's like, why do we have to do that to each other? Everybody loves music. Music is good.
Listen, if it sounds good, I'm going to listen to it, and I may not know their names, but I know the songs, and I'm
Right,
pretty much
right.
like that. I mean, I was telling you, hip hop. I'm a lover of hip hop, love hip hop, but I didn't get into hip hop until I was like 19, 20 when G Funk came out.
Oh
And
man,
that's when I
come
started to.
on,
But my
man.
older brother, he always would, let me know who was who when I started to listen to hip hop. I remember he sent me E40's The Click when they
Oh,
were a group. And he sent me that. He burned it for me. And I was like, oh my gosh, who is this? He's like, you haven't heard of E40? No, I haven't. From that point on, that's all I played. E40 The Click. And then I got every single E40 CD that came out. I would be the one at Sam Goody. Sam Goody.
Sam
I would
Goody.
be
That's a throwback. Yeah,
I
this
would
is
be
like
there on the day of
oh,
release. Like these kids stand in line for like Call of Duty. I would stand in line to get E40's new album and ripping it off in the parking lot and putting it on and just like that was me. Love me some music. What about you?
oh man, me and my brother used to be like the guys on campus, especially my brother. He was the techno guy, so it was always like, you see us on campus, we burning for you. We got them CDs, so we knew about all. So, no, Sam Goody was more. I was like in middle school, like maybe freshman year of high school. We used to go up there and listen to listen to. He's like, you got to get
Yep.
out of here because you're not going to buy anything. We're like, all right, because we spent all our money at the tilt. We were playing
Right.
arcades over there, getting that work. But no, that's such a throwback. Like I haven't, you saying that just unlocked so many core memories, and just these kids don't even know about
Yeah.
Snow Mall or anything like that. But I love
Remember
music.
remember at Sam Goody, remember when you go in there and you'd have to look in that big like yellow book to find the artist. And it was like remember that? And you'd go in there and you'd spend
Yeah,
time looking in the yellow book to see if that album or that CD's in there. And I remember that's what we spent our time at, was in Sam Goody looking for new music. And I mean, I was I was a lover of pop music, I must say, in middle school. And so I loved like Tiffany and Debbie Gibson. And, I was, I mean, seriously, me and my sister would have like Tiffany, Debbie Gibson. And then when Brandy came out, we listened to
Randy,
that. And,
yeah.
and then, and like I said, my brother was like, let me show you something else. And I remember Tupac came out and I was like, I don't get what you guys are getting with him. I mean, that album's so just hateful and just, it's just so much going on. And then, and that was the one with I Get Around. I
I
can't
get
think of the name of
around.
that album, but you know what the one I'm talking
Oh,
about. Holler if you hear
yeah.
me. Okay,
You can
that,
tell by
right?
my everyday
And
fit
yeah,
swag.
it was,
I
yes, it
love
was
that.
just, I love the videos, but then, I remember going over to a friend's house and he was playing the whole CD. And I'm like, this is just too much. I mean, what's he so angry about? And then I ended up falling in love with Tupac. Then I understood it and listened to more of his music. And now it's like, I had to get husband got me the whole catalog for Christmas
Yeah,
a
he
few
was a
years back.
rebel. He fought definitely
Yeah.
like my dad with like Tupac, Ice Cube stuff. Like I grew up with all of that,
Right.
so it felt like Pac was like an uncle to me. So it's like
Okay.
I remember we prayed when he died. Like we got on our knees and was like, hey man, like it was that serious for us. And like
Yeah.
my dad used to slap him on his Kenwood was nice, and he used to just have like it was like those 808s would just bump, boom,
Right.
and it's like straight balling was like the first time
Oh
I was.
my gosh. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That one was absolutely nuts. When I heard that, because what I did was because I wasn't into him at first. I think after when before he died, that's when I was really diving in deep into his music and not just a commercial success.
Yeah, yeah,
And you know what I mean? And like really listening to what he was saying. And it was just, I fell in love with him and I fell in love with what he was saying. I mean, I
yeah,
would watch any interview he would give. I would watch it because it was so intense. Like he meant what he was saying and he was telling you something, you know? And it
yeah.
would just be, it would draw you to the news. I remember he did a lot of things on BET where they interviewed him a lot at the time. But when he died, I remember um, I went and got Machiavelli. Machiavelli
Yeah, yeah,
had just
Machiavelli.
dropped,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I got Machiavelli, and I
Everybody
remember
thought he was gonna come back.
I was one of those people. I'm like, when I heard about who Machiavelli was, and you
Yeah,
heard about,
yeah.
okay, that was a guy that died, and well, he faked his
Fake his
death, and
death,
that's why he
came
called
back.
himself Machiavelli.
Mhm.
And I'm like, because when you love someone like that and their talent, I guess I get why those people felt that way about Elvis Presley. You know what I mean? So I'd be like, why are they still looking for Elvis Presley? Like, you know,
Right.
but then when
Very
Tupac
true.
died, it was like, I get it because you love that artist so much and he contributed so much to where you just can't accept the fact that he's gone. You know, so
Well,
I would, you know, what do you think about that?
a lot of young black men saw themselves in him. You know,
Yes, I get that.
his upbringing, how he conducted himself, how he had run like he was trying to be cool and he had run-ins with the
Right,
police and everything, and he started getting
right.
more political. And but he came from a political background. His mother was a Black
Yes,
Panther, his father was, so it was in his blood. Like he knew
right.
where he was going to take it. But I missed Pac, and it was me against the
Yeah.
world, when he was do 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 do, he was
Oh my
doing that.
gosh,
Like,
right,
it was just like, yeah, that was
right.
it seems such much nicer. And then, but I mean, after you get shot and you go to
Oh,
that other side
yeah,
and you see it, you come
yeah.
back like I only got so much time. I have a
So
mission to
you're
fulfill.
writing so
Mhm.
much. He's doing so much writing. You know what blew me away was, you know, when the movie came out, Still I Rise. Is it Still I Rise? Until
You're
the
talking
it's
about
Still I Rise. What was it? Oh my gosh,
oh,
you know, I want to say Still I Rise, but that's the name of the song. That's the name of the song that's on the
yeah, yeah,
Outlaws.
yeah, yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about. When he did that, and everyone before, it came out, everyone's like, he's talking, it's him.
Yeah,
He can't be dead. How is a dead man gonna tell his whole story? And what
right,
people
right,
didn't
right.
understand was there was so much footage. There was so much footage that it was easy for
Oh, I'm glad you're talking about the documentary. I thought you were talking about
the
the actual
no, the
movie.
document.
I thought you I was like, Rousey, I'm not trying. I was like, we're gonna disagree here.
You thought
Okay, yeah. I
I
was
was like,
lost
why
on
is he
that.
looking at me like I'm
Okay, the
crazy?
documentary, I agree with you. I love that documentary. I thought you were talking
Yeah.
about that
No, no,
shooting.
no, 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 no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah. Okay. I was like, Jada had her hand all in it, and it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't.
No, the
Okay. No, I
documentary.
agree. I agree.
Okay, yeah, how he was able to tell his story and people was like, "How can a dead man tell a story?" The whole movie he telling how he got shot and all that. And it's like, you
Right, right,
guys,
right.
at the time you buy it, but then, being older now and watching that a few weeks ago, it's so much footage and he's talking about the first time he got shot.
Right.
He's not talking about Vegas. He's talking about the first time and he had so
I
much
think he knew.
footage.
I think he knew. He was like, somebody's coming for me."
Oh, okay,
I
I
mean,
definitely believe that.
I don't want to cause any controversy in the clubhouse, but I mean, you kind of know Diddy did it. Like Diddy, and all his baby oil.
Oh my gosh,
He
and
said
I
he
didn't
had
even
both
wanna bring
Diddy
it
and
up because I
Pac killed.
don't wanna get anyone in trouble, but,
Yeah,
can we just touch on that for a second?
of course.
Okay, let me just say this. First of all, Diddy's whole everything he did, the music, that was like my 20s, I mean,
Yeah,
that was,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And
yeah.
all the artists that were great, okay? Now, I'm gonna say this. Now, R. Kelly did his thing and how stupid, and that's just, right? So you can't listen to R. Kelly no more, right? We have to sneak and listen to R. Kelly, okay? And I'm like, freak, like I have all of his albums, and I can't even listen to him anymore. And if I do, I got to be secretive about it, but don't put him on like that. But so now this Diddy thing comes up, and it's like, so you mean to tell me that I can't listen to 112? I can't
Oh
listen to
yeah,
Total, can't listen to whatever, but how disappointing someone who had everything, and such an amazing talent do those things. Like, you are so blessed.
Was it blessings though?
Was
Was
he
it?
blessed?
Well, I mean, I'm not the type, and I want Hollywood. I'm here if you guys are watching, but I'm not
Well,
gonna sell
maybe,
his soul. Maybe his soul, you can gain the
yeah,
world, you can gain
right,
everything, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna get everything. And
right,
usually, if it's a blessing, it's not confusing. And
right. Very true, very true.
it's
Definitely wrong word to use. Not a
but I know,
blessing.
but you had the world at your fingertips, and now it
Yes,
comes
there you go.
crashing down. But they'll
There you
never.
go.
I'm sorry about my dogs. My dogs are running
It's
around.
okay.
But they'll never let the black man run away with the money, because a lot of
Right.
guys are kicking it like that too. Like you got the Weinsteins, you got people like that who do that, and they have all sorts of crazy issues. Like
Yeah.
Epstein, they just went out and killed him. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
he had the
That's
dirt and he had everything that was over there, so they just decided to end him. I mean, if we see
right.
Diddy, they're just like, oh, that's a little too convenient, but it's a humiliation thing. It's not, he came in the business, if you want to believe it, he came in the business
Right.
being diddled, and then he became
Yeah.
the diddler. And so,
Yeah.
they kind of folded it into this whole thing. So,
Very true.
hurt people. And
Right.
it's sad that it went on for years and things like this happened.
Years. Years. I mean, years. And now, now that we're older and looking back at, I know for me, I love the music, I enjoy Diddy, if he drops something, well, not him, but if he had an artist
Yeah.
that dropped something, you know what I mean? Cause it wasn't him, it was the
He
artist.
dropped the whole damn label. Like, come on now. I mean, like you said, you just said 112. I was like, oh hell no. We ain't gonna get
Right.
rid of that. Like, whoa, I'm not losing him. Like, we need him. Like, we need him back. The hits need to stay where they
I
are.
love 112
Me too. I mean, Mace could
and
go
even
like crazy.
Total. All of his artists that aren't there
But then you
anymore,
got to
like,
cancel Biggie. Why? Nobody wants to do that.
and no one wants to do that as well.
Now
He
we
had
can.
he had he had great talent, and then I used to be like, what happened to so and so? Like, where's Total at? Like,
Yeah.
where's 112 at? Where are all these people at that were with him, and all of a sudden you don't see them no more? They're not on the label anymore. They're not. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they're done. But they were great talents that he had.
Just like Cassie.
Oh my
Now we
gosh,
know why Cassie's album didn't get lift off that we thought.
there you go.
And I remember Ryan Leslie said that his car got blown up. Just,
And and yeah, right,
it don't
yeah. And
make
I
sense
remember
now.
I remember thinking, I was one of those people. I love entertainment so much to where I was thinking, no, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't blow up someone's. He wouldn't be involved with killing
It
Pac.
sounded
Like,
far fetched.
you know
Like
what I
it
mean? It's
sounded
like,
like a
that's, come on, guys.
right. It sounded like a bad movie plot, but it was real.
Yes,
It was
but
real.
yeah,
The mogul who is a villain, and
yes,
listen to my song. Take that. Take that. It's like
yeah,
God. Like, wow. You're just like this monster. But I mean,
right,
I think Diddy was created. I think the atmosphere and the landscape
yeah.
is built for that. You
I
know.
agree with you. I can agree with you on
But
that.
again, Hollywood. Hey, I'm a
Hey,
good lawyer.
I was like, I remember thinking, pondering over things and like, starting off my career as an actress, a young actress out of high school. I did an independent film. I was like 23, 24 when I did that. And I remember so hungry and wanting that so bad, so bad. And to the point to where I had an agent and all these things are going good, right?
Oh,
And
nice.
then, but I also had little kids at the time and a husband, so it was like, the youngest one starting school. And then, I remember my agent was like, we can get you work, but you're not, making
Yeah.
calls on time. You have to choose between, is it going to be your family or is it going to be, is it going to be this? And I remember he's like, call me, I'll give you the weekend to think about it and call me back. And so I, took the weekend, cried about it because, oh my gosh, it's my passion. But, I'm a mother and I need to dedicate times to these two little boys. One's going to school. Obviously, I chose my family, called up the agent. Sorry, I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm out of this. So, but once in a blue moon, I go to a call or, do that. But I decided to focus on the kids and it turned out they end up being great young men. But I also think about, I think at the time my mind was too young to do that and to get that deeply involved in going as far as I could have gone. You know what I mean? Hollywood and all that. I don't think that I probably could have the confidence. What if I was in a situation where, like a lot of the women from the Me Too movement, you know what I mean? So I think about that and
Exactly.
think that, God obviously, guided me out of that because I was too young. I didn't have a voice at that time. Like I
Yeah.
knew acting and I knew that, but I hadn't been presented with that situation. If I were presented with that situation, what would I have done? Because I was so hungry and I wanted to be in
Right.
fame. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
fame and I want to be famous and I want to be this. Now looking back, I'm like, whew, thank goodness
Thank
things
goodness.
happened for me later in life. Got back into acting later in life to where I'm a woman. I know what I want. I know what I don't want. I know, you know what I mean? I know how to deal with this. But there's a lot of young people out there that, you see, like Justin Bieber, for instance. I mean, my gosh, it's not all what it's cracked up to be. So I'm happy to go the independent route where no one owns me. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
this is my shit. I own this shit. Thank you. Thank you.
Love that.
There's my speech. That's how I feel though, for real.
That's part of the reason that I was like, okay, I can come out here and kind of do my thing now because there's a
Right.
platform, there's a way to do it your way,
Yeah.
without anybody, like you said, doing favors or doing weird stuff. Like
Yes.
if some, oh man, if somebody came to me, I feel for those kids because it's like if somebody came to me and said, I want your daughter to go to my hip hop charm school, you have to give up all your parental rights. I'm going to
Right.
be the conservator. It's how we do in Hollywood. I'm punching them in the face.
Thank
I'm
you.
doing,
Are you crazy?
I'm not, it's like some of these parents, like I
Yeah.
feel for the kid, but your mom and dad didn't love you, buddy.
And they wanted
So
it. They wanted
they
it.
were
They
more
couldn't do
hungry.
it. So they're doing it through you. They're
More
having
little
that
booty
success.
was giving up for
Absolutely. I mean, for real. For real.
for
Like,
a contract. I would, as a
yes.
father, and as a mother, I wouldn't. This is what we're
No.
there to protect. I take that very
No.
seriously, and that's my first job is to be a father, and
Right.
to set the kids up to have this kind of irreparable damage. It kind of explains how Jaden Smith. I mean, look at
Oh
Magic
gosh.
Johnson's son. I mean,
Oh my.
what happened to him? It seems like something happens in Hollywood that transforms
Yes.
kids into something. Something's happening to them. So it's like something is in water. So please help. We're losing recipes. Everybody's not. Who knows? It's gone way back to like Marilyn Monroe days. I watched her
Oh my
movie.
gosh.
Good
Yes.
God. Yeah.
Yes. How horrible was that? Like the evilness of it all, the drugs, the just all of that. And I'm like, oh, thank God I didn't go that route. Thank God it just didn't happen for me. It just didn't happen for me at that time, just wasn't ready for it. But a lot of people are stuck in that. And, the whole Diddy thing, I'm looking forward to seeing where we go with that, what's going to happen with him, and then the rest of the artists that are brave enough to now come out and say A, B, C, and D happen. And then the whole just another thing that's crazy to me is just hip hop. The hip hop at that time, they're all talking about no homosexuality, no this, and y'all just up there just lying. I
it,
mean,
was, it was prison
just
rules.
lying.
Everything was prison style. Everybody's prison out. Now, we
Yes.
know we're booty warriors, but at the same time, we can't let nobody know. And
Crazy, fought against it the whole time,
man,
talking about it in the music, and that's
you
you.
are the thing that it's projecting.
Yes.
It's a lot of
Just
projecting. That's
thank you. Just lying to folks. And I was
now you
watching
make me want to re-listen to the lyrics. It's like they were probably cries for help. This is trauma.
oh my gosh. Because now if you hear it, you're gonna go there like, oh, what if he was, what if he just like the Luther Vandross thing, you know what I mean? I remember I remember growing up and my hearing my mom and them talk about Luther
Oh
and
man, my dad.
you know what I
Anytime
mean?
he's like, boy, that man's sweet. Sweet as that. I was like, yeah, no, I was like, no, dad, he's not.
Who
I'm
was
like,
it?
oh
Who was
man.
it that said? Was it a Cedric the Entertainer that used to make the joke? His curls just didn't quite curl. Like there was no bounce, like something was, and
It
so,
was all.
and listen, I love me some Luther. That's on my playlist. It don't take away from it. And it's sad that if he was gay or whatever, he had to live like that. But the music, when you hear it, because hearing the grown-ups talk about, it's like, you know, who is he talking about? Not that it
Yeah,
matters, but it's something that crosses your mind. Come on.
the secret love can't be. Oh, no. Oh, that's awful. Yeah, no.
These are jokes, folks. These are jokes. Please do
Yeah,
not
hey,
get offended.
I
These are
love Luther.
jokes.
Yeah, don't get offended. Luther
Oh, of
Vandross family.
course.
If you know anything, leave something in the chat. Let us know. Defend Luther. But if not, it's just jokes. I love Luther. I love
It's
Part-Time
absolute
Lover.
jokes. See, these are.
He's the guy in Part-Time Lover in the background. He's let's play.
Oh,
Luther loved that. So that was his thing. But the
oh my
80s was
gosh.
great.
You're gonna get me in
Think
so
about
much
Prince. How does
trouble,
somebody like Prince
Brandon.
think? Or Aerosmith or somebody like these guys are like pushing lines of all
Oh,
the rock bands were just doing
oh, they
unnecessary.
were on it. Like some of them don't even deny it. Like you hear about like David Bowie and Mick Jagger had a thing, and
Mhm.
so and so had a thing with so and so. Like it's and none of them came out denied it or anything. That to them, it's like that's we party. That was rock and roll.
Mm. I mean, I was like, I
You
still
know,
know
you know.
Billy Idol said he got so tired of it. I know. Yeah. And I was like, Rebel Yell, Billy. Oh
Oh
man,
my God.
yeah. So it just seems like some sort of Hollywood tradition to
Right,
just let's love on each other.
right.
You have to. Like I guess it makes you thicker than thieves. I guess
I
but
guess.
I don't. I've spent my whole life avoiding that situation. And I
Right.
don't want, so it's like no shame to it. That's just not my style. It's just not
Kind of
me.
like the Cat Williams, talking about the mansion party and talking about is
Is
that
that
Professor so and so,
Oh no, yeah, yeah.
Professor Opie.
Oh yeah, like that would be soul crushing. Like you see somebody like Mr. T or something
Oh my,
getting around, like
yes, yes.
like I don't even want. And then next thing somebody throws some baby bottles, and you get knocked
Right.
out, and next thing you know, you like glistening. And, yeah, now they're like, we got you on tape. Yeah, so it's like it's one of those things. So it's like,
Oh
oh,
my gosh. And
oh.
now it makes you like certain things, you question, it's like if someone comes out, against something or they're speaking on something, it's like where do they got you at? What tape are you on, sir? Ma'am, what tape are you on? That's like going to be the thing of the century here or the thing of the next decade. What
Yeah,
tape are you on?
I think
Anyways,
you too.
I can talk to you all night. Let's talk about your shows. Where can we see you perform next? What do you have going on? Is your time?
Well, I'm in, Sacramento. I'm in various open mics. Like you said, with kids, I have a family, so that comes first. So sometimes I don't get to be as dedicated as I am to the mics, but I'm pretty much every day I'm hitting the mic somewhere somehow. I might pop up on you. The Zoodcast on Saturdays, I'm always there. I sure love that. It's a strange experience, but it's fun. I get to see it's a comedian's place, and it's definitely hardcore, and you learn a lot. And Grody and all those guys there are awesome. I appreciate them there. So that's definitely one of the stomping grounds I go to. Uh, I'm looking to go to Descenders. I like that. Like I said, the touch of class is gone, so that's kind of a
Okay.
blow. Just anywhere that I can, anytime I can get off of work and jump out and just like my lady says, I love smoking weed and talking shit, and that's one of my favorite things to do. So I'll get up there and do that. But I do have a storytelling show. I believe I have to remember the date. It's either November. It's going to be next week. It's either Tuesday or Thursday. I can't lock in the date right now. I'm drawing a blank. But it's Tuesday, Thursday at the Punchline on Arden. We're telling funny stories. My
Awesome.
professor, Johnny Taylor, and my Sifu, Jesse Rivera, are running the show. Very funny group. It's going to be a blast. I'm kind of like the Kenan Thompson of the storytelling showcase. So I'm always there. I'm trying new stuff, new stories. So definitely try me there. I'm going to be at one of those shows. But I'm at an open mic near you. I'm looking to try to make my own venues as well, my own kind of showcases in the future, given time and given that. So support your local funny people. We're at the Golden Bear,
Absolutely. Please, guys,
the
support,
Toupee
support.
Plaza. You can find us pretty much everywhere. Just look for us and support us. We're very funny. We're a funny cast out there.
Well, I got to give a big shout out to Missy Draper. Missy, thank you so much. You hooked me up with
Rebellion
Brandon.
comedy.
Oh my
The
gosh, this girl is so great. Thank you so much. And
wonderful
introducing
Missy.
me to DJ Colleen, the world's sexiest DJ. You guys can go check her out. Former Playmate, Maxim cover girl. She's doing a lot of things. She's an author of kid books. A little. I think her book line is DJ. Or anyways, you guys go and check out that interview with her. It's up on the channel. You guys can view that. Also, Shelly K. Booker. What's up, Shelly? Shelly and I, we've been trying to work on some things and work on a podcast. Shelly, eventually we will get to that. Thank you so much. I went to the storytelling. That's where I met Missy at. I went
Gotcha.
there to go
Gotcha.
see Shelly, and that's a really fun show. I really enjoyed that. So I hope to be able to go and see you and catch a stand up. Buddy Remy, shout out to you as well. He's doing his thing here in Sacramento,
Yeah,
and
buddy's a
to
legend.
everyone else, you guys. Thanks for those who joined me here in on Rossie's Clubhouse and Instagram, guys. I'm getting used to doing that. That's new for me, so it'll be better. Missy Joe, I is it sound? Can you hear? Can you not hear? Anyways, y'all can hear me though. I appreciate you guys. This was a great show. You made me laugh. Thank you so much, Brandon. I appreciate you coming on. You're a friend of the channel. You have to come back on again anytime.
Oh,
If there's
I
something that's
love this
going on,
clubhouse.
just hey Rossi, I want to pull up. We'll make a studio up for you, and we will definitely do that. You guys, I have a couple of weeks off for Rossi's Clubhouse. I'll be back November 11th. I'm going to bring Miss Misha Distel in. She has that film. It's called Hidden in Plain Sight. I was a lead actress in that film,
Oh
co-starring
man.
Buddy Remick. We just got nominated for Best Actor and Actress in Hidden in Plain Sight. So we're going to talk to Misha, see what's going on. She's an incredible writer here in Sacramento, and I can't wait to see you. Let's see who else is coming. Oh my gosh. November 25th, Hayla V will be back on Rossi's Clubhouse. She has a new album that dropped back in September. I want to catch up with her before the new year. And I have a lot of great artists coming for you guys in the new year. I have a great artist coming out of Houston. I want to keep him a secret because he's doing big things right now. Also, if you missed Matt Barnes' interview, you can catch that on Rossi's Clubhouse, or you can go to Movie Lovers Unite and catch that. It was a great interview with Matt Barnes. We were talking about his award-winning documentary, Black Mark, and that will be coming out here soon. Brandon, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. You guys, please, this interview will be on audio. It will be available in about a week or so. Go to wherever you listen to your podcast, find Rossi's Clubhouse, give me a 5-star review, give me a follow, and please subscribe to the channel here. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And for those who have, downloaded over 100 episodes online on Rossi's Clubhouse, I really appreciate that, guys. And those that have already subscribed, I really appreciate that. So we will see you soon. You stay where you are. Don't go anywhere, Brandon.
And I
And
let the
let's
people know real
see.
quick. Don't give her
Yes.
4 stars, because if you give her 4 stars, that means you're a hater. Give her
Yeah,
5.
and don't be hating. Don't be just
No
give me the
hating.
5 stars, like for
Just give
real,
it to her.
and give me a sub. I mean, gracious goodness. Anyways, this has been a great show. I really enjoyed you, Brandon. Thank you so much for making me laugh. Thank you for talking about things that most people maybe not want to talk about, and I don't want to get a lot of people in trouble, but we went there. And remember, guys, these are just jokes. They're just jokes, so don't hate. All right. Anyways, we're gonna put this up so you guys can see Brandon, and we are out. Thank you guys so much. Just a second. Let's kill this live on yes, there we go. There we go. And now we are done here. Thank you guys. Bye.